President Trump announcing a new joint venture yesterday called Stargate to build and grow AI infrastructure in the U.S. OpenAI, SoftBank, and Oracle planning to commit $100 billion to start, potentially up to $500 billion over 4 years. Microsoft listed as one of the partners to the new venture. Joining us now for an exclusive interview is Satya Nadella, Chairman and CEO of Microsoft. Good morning to you.
Thank you so much.
And it's so good to talk to you in the midst of all of this, because we're all trying to understand it and what it means, whether it's possible to get to $500 billion, and what it means specifically, I think, for your partnership with OpenAI, given that they had been using Azure exclusively and now obviously are going to be on other platforms as well.
Yeah, first of all, anytime a company that you've sponsored and were essentially a seed investor in raises money from others, it's a good day. A good day for OpenAI and a good day for Microsoft and our investors. Look, our partnership continues. We'll be a tech partner to Stargate, but more importantly, our partnership with OpenAI, you talked about exclusivity. OpenAI APIs are exclusive to Azure going forward even, so nothing changes there. IP access to Microsoft continues, and in fact, because of this, there will be more IP, and so therefore we'll benefit, and we have rev share arrangements that are great, and also OpenAI committed in a very significant way to Azure consumption, and so we're very thrilled about that as well. So all up, as far as I'm concerned, this accelerates OpenAI's model work, which accelerates Microsoft's ability to go to market with those models and really grow our business.
Let me ask you this. We had one of your competitors on early this morning, Mark Benioff, who has been very critical of this partnership. And one of the things that he said this is a demonstration of a fissure between the two companies, that you are going to go off longer term and build your own frontier models, and that there's a disconnect or of some sort between Sam Altman and Mustafa, who you hired to run your AI program. Can you speak to that?
I mean, look, I think the partnership with OpenAI to us is a critical partnership. We love it. It's working. It's created a lot of value for us. And we plan to just continue forward with it. It's true that on Azure today, there are other models. There are open source models. We have our own small language models, and we'll continue to have all of that. Because customers at the end of the day are going to demand choice there, and that's fine, and we'll make sure we support it. But having a leading model on Azure exclusively is a great advantage to us, and it's good.
Let me ask you this. So I talked to Sam Altman at DealBook just about a month and a half ago now, and he says, I don't think we're disentangling, to your point. He says, look, I will not pretend there are no misalignments or challenges. Obviously, there are some. On the whole, he said that he thinks it's tremendously positive. What are the things where there's not alignment? One of the things I noticed in one of your filings recently is you actually put OpenAI as a competitor on your list, which I thought must speak about your ambitions long term.
Yeah, but more importantly, I think for us, one of the things that, in fact, Stargate is the answer. Sam wants to continue with the scaling laws to build out more compute in order for him to train more models. And we have a ROFR, so he comes to us first. If we meet those needs, then we clear it. If not, he can go to these other providers. And so therefore, I think it works out well for Sam and for us. So this was an adjustment, quite frankly, that we made in order to support both his needs, while at the same time keeping the integrity of what we wanted as the strategic value.
You were investing $80 billion already. How much money do you ultimately put into this?
So this is where, Microsoft is investing $80 billion in capital each year, and this year we're investing. And I'm not particularly in the details of what they're investing.
Okay, and so, but when you look at that $100 billion commitment, $500 billion potential, I don't know if you saw Elon Musk took to Twitter and said they don't have the money. The money doesn't exist, as if this is not really going to happen. What do you think of that?
Look, all I know is I'm good for my $80 billion. I am going to spend $80 billion building out Azure. Customers can count on Microsoft with OpenAI models being there everywhere in the world, serving OpenAI models and other models. That's, I think, what I know.
One of the other discussions here in Davos, and even before Davos, has been this question of whether there's a wall, whether the scaling laws will continue apace. And Sam Altman has been out there saying that they will continue apace. Sundar Pichai has been suggesting that actually it gets a little bit more complicated sooner than we may imagine. Where do you land on that?
I mean, I think both are true, actually, because the reality is I don't think there's a wall. things do get harder with scale. And interestingly enough, pre-training scale with, as the scale goes up, gets harder. But then what Sam and team have shown, even with O1 and now O3, is this inference time compute and the ability to really have inference scaling compound in some sense the effects of scaling laws. So what used to be a 6-month doubling, maybe a 3-month doubling. So I would say scaling laws are very much alive. And the question now is, in fact, if anything, how do you take advantage of all this capability building to deploy real AI systems?
Where are you on your own frontier models? Obviously, you did hire Mustafa. You have your own efforts that are underway. What does that look like? When will we see that? And what do you think that ultimately does to, you've done remarkably with OpenAI, and that may turn out to be a spectacular investment unto itself, but how you think this whole landscape shifts at some point?
I think just to be very, very clear, we have access to OpenAI IP, so we're not going to do things twice. So we are very, very happy with the access we have to OpenAI. It's just that we do have other models that we have built. We built the public model that we talk about is Phi, which is an SLM, or small language model, 5.4. It's best in class for its parameter size. And we have other models too. But to me, the more important thing for me is to build value on top of OpenAI. So we have a fantastic post-training stack. We have done even a bunch of mid-training in different languages. So that's where our focus is.
When you think about the scaling laws, how much of all of this is simply about processing power? If you can buy enough NVIDIA chips today that you too can create a spectacular large language model. I look at what Elon Musk has done in the last 12 months, which is just remarkable. Built out a whole stack. He got a lot of NVIDIA chips, and he's done it. How much of it is about the processing power versus the algorithm?
Look, it's all of it, but compute is intelligence. But on top of compute, you need the algorithmic breakthroughs too. So to some degree, if you look at even why the scaling laws are working, is because we're getting good at being both using algorithmic changes as well as data and data usage and compute efficiency. And that's where the capability is. It's, when we say scaling laws, it's just not compute. In fact, it is faster than compute growth. So if the compute is done 10x, the capability is 100x. Why is that? It's software.